Good morning. Welcome to Lilybugs Library. My name's Linda, and or welcome back if you've been here before. So today we're going to do my April TBR, and I think it's going to be a good one. We're also going to do a little public service announcement for the bees, because we're going to do the April TBR is going to be all books related to flowers and bees. And so I thought we'd talk a little bit about that, which is kind of ironic because I got up this morning and there was snow on the trees and the ground. So we're not quite there yet, but but that's okay. We'll keep going anyway and pretend. So just a few bee facts. And I have a nice yellow shirt on today to support the bees. And I don't normally wear scarves. It's not really my thing. But when your bestie gets you a scarf and says it's a good idea to wear it, you wear it. So it is very pretty, and you can't see it in the video, but at the bottom it's got all kinds of bling. And yeah, it's gorgeous. But but me knowing how to knot it and make it look right, nah, not really. But we're faking it today. All right, so about the bees. So the things that they quote here are U.S. numbers. I'm sure other places in the world, would be a little different, but I think they're pretty much having problems everywhere. So it says over 1 billion pounds of pesticides are used in the United States each year. And according to the Zertis, I think that's how they pronounce it, society, 90% or more of beehives show evidence of some pesticide contamination. And then it says pesticides and herbicides can be lethal to bees. When they don't kill bees outright, they can weaken bees physically and impair cognitive functioning, which weakens the colony and makes them more vulnerable to other pathogens. And it says more than 40% of all honeybee colonies are lost each year in the United States, due primarily to a combination of pests, poisons, and habitat loss. Common pests attacking honeybee hives are insects such as mites, small hive beetles, and wax moths, and bacteria such as American and European foul brood, which sounds foul, but I don't really know what that is. And then it says, even with the loss of so many hives each year, there are still about 2 trillion remaining on our planet. A healthy bee colony can create 60 to 100 pounds of honey each year. Honeybees visit about 2 million flowers to produce a pound of honey. So plant those wildflowers. Approximately 1/3 of the food we eat is a result of honeybee pollination. Honeybees are the only insect that produces food consumed by humans. Okay. Bees pollinate more than 150 commercial crops. More than 150 fruit, grain, seed, and vegetable crops in the U.S. depend on pollinators. So bees do a lot for us, and it sounds like they're having a lot of problems. So just like I said, little public service announcement, don't mow your lawns just yet because they're still kind of laying there in the lawn, and, just kind of starting to wake up, and, plant flowers, and, let's do what we can to bring up that population. Especially since, they are pollinating all these other crops, and we need all the crops to stay good, so we need bees. So with that in mind, we have some bee books. So the first one is more a flower book. It's Murder in the Greenhouse, and it says Rosemary Hart's dream of opening her own plant nursery in the charming town of Tall Pines is suddenly uprooted when she finds a body in her greenhouse. Determined to clear her name and protect her budding business, Rosemary teams up with her childhood friends Ashley and Gabby. As they dig deeper, the trio uncover a tangled web of secrets involving a ruthless developer, disgruntled locals, and a suspect list as lengthy as a vine. Their investigation leads them through twists, turns, and hidden motives within their cozy, tight-knit community. So that one sounds good, and the cover is gorgeous. And that's by Avery Kent, and it's the first in the Tall Pines Cozy Mysteries. So the next one is by Kayla Lowe, and it's called The Beekeeper's Secret. And it says, Benjamin Barnes never expected to trade in skyscrapers and city noise for the gentle hum of bees and the scent of salt-kissed air. But Honeysuckle Cove has a way of latching on to a man's heart. He just wants to be left alone, tending his hives and enjoying his hard-earned retirement. No drama, no entanglements, and certainly no love. I have a feeling he's going to get more than he thinks. The next one is called Wildflowers for Anna Lee, and it's by Casey Kennedy, and it's another one that's got one of these sweet little covers. It says, Anna Lee Foster is not looking for love. Seems to be the theme. This septuagenarian owns the In Bloom flower shop and is happiest when creating floral arrangements for her customers, encouraging the young ladies who work for her, and pampering her beloved cat, Salty, who travels back and forth to work with her in a backpack while she rides her scooter. John Pearson postponed retirement to keep his grief at bay. Frequent contact with his 3 adult daughters keeps him going. When his oldest daughter encourages him to date, John feels he's finally ready to expand his heart, no matter the risk to himself, but he's cautious when faced with resistance from his youngest daughter. Anna Lee believes she doesn't deserve love, as the decision to give her baby up for adoption as a teenager still haunts her. John's attention chips away at the fences around her heart, but when she finally shares her darkest secret with him, his daughter's fear that Anna Lee's hiding something takes on new meaning. Will John turn tail and run, or stand by Anna Lee's side when she needs him the most? So that sounds good, kind of a later in life second chance story. I don't know if you can see this. This is the new mug that I bought. It's you can see it says Queen Bee. So figured that went well with what we were talking about today. So the next one is by Nancy Coco, and it's a cozy mystery one. It's the, I think it's the Oregon Honeycomb Mysteries, something like that. And it's called A Matter of Hive and Death. And it says, for the picturesque town of Ocean View on the Oregon coast, May brings blossoming fruit trees in the annual UFO festival. Sounds fun. As Aunt Eloise tries out alien costumes on their Havana brown cat Everett, Wren is off to meet with a bee wrangler, her go-to guy for local fruit tree honey. But when she arrives, Elias Brentwood is lying on the ground amidst destroyed hives and a swarm of angry bees. The bees didn't kill him, a blow to the head did, as blue-eyed Officer Jim Hampton investigates, and the town is invaded by its own swarm of conspiracy theorists and crackpots. Wren and Aunt Eloise decide the only way to catch the bee wrangler's killer is to set up a sting. Oh, that sounds good. And I just love the idea of a UFO festival. I mean, that sounds like it would be so much fun. But you would get a lot of interesting people coming to town. So the next one is by Sue Hollowell, and it's called Murder at the Bee Farm. And it says, welcome to Honey Ridge Falls, where the sweet scent of honey masks dark secrets. Moxie Rayburn returns to her grandmother's cozy B&B seeking a fresh start, but her plans are derailed when a shocking tragedy strikes at Sweet Buzz Farms. To her dismay, a person from her past becomes a prime suspect. Despite their complicated history, Moxie can't shake the feeling that he might be innocent. Torn between lingering resentment and a sense of justice, she reluctantly decides to help uncover the truth. As the annual Honey Festival approaches, Moxie races against time to solve the mystery. So I do love the fact that there's a honey festival, and she's working at a B&B, and she's with her grandmother. I mean, it's all the things that you want in a cozy. So the next one is called Meant to Be, and it's by Storm Schultz, and they call it a sweet romantic comedy. It says, can accidentally becoming a beekeeper lead to love? It says single mom Cordy Brown can't catch a break. Not only does she lose her job, but the quaint English cottage she pools her savings to purchase is the very definition of a money pit. To top it off, a delivery man appears on her doorstep with a shipment of bees and announces she's their new caretaker. Could life get any more complicated? Rowan Thompson is only in England for one reason, to drag his underage brother back to Ireland for end-of-year exams. He quickly learns, however, that nothing about this will be simple, and he finds himself holding a baby goat on Cordy's doorstep. Falling for a beautiful American is easy. Ronan's problems lie in the overabundance of animals, his stubborn brother, and the unexpected guest from Cordy's past. Oh my. All right, so we've got all kinds of things in there. We've got goats and bees and, that you don't know anything about or how to look after. And the brother, and that sounds like it's going to be quite an adventure. The next one is called From Newsprint to Footprints, and it's by Elaine Orr. And it says, "You're fired. Grouchy news publisher Hal Morris sends reporter Melanie Perkins packing for taking too many photos of flowers. Panicked at being unemployed, she lands a job as a landscaper, but an ugly surprise greets her on her first day. A pile of mulch, a tangerine, and a stolen hoe cast suspicion on Melanie. Melanie's efforts to find a murderer instead put a target on her back. Some of the aim is coming from law enforcement, but they aren't the ones who want to silence her permanently. Life along the Des Moines River in Iowa can be peaceful, but a murderer has no problem disturbing her tranquility." And it says it's a first novel by Elaine Orr. It's in her new River's Edge series. So, yeah, she's got other series out there, but this is the first in that one. I was looking, I didn't see the part where they said that somebody was murdered. It's just talking about a pile of mulch, a tangerine, a stolen hoe. So, I don't know. Somebody's murdered in there somewhere, I guess. The next one is called Posies and Poison, and it's a Sweet Fern Harbor mystery by Wendy Meadows. And really like the cover. It's got, all the flowers and then the poison down on the corner. It says, "When Brenda Sheffield receives the letter from Edward Graham, she knows her life will change drastically. She is now the proud owner of Sheffield Bed and Breakfast in the seaboard town of Sweet Fern Harbor, willed to her by her uncle, Randolph Sheffield. After pursuing a career as an amateur sleuth, she looks forward to the new challenge. Once she arrives in the picturesque village, the colorful shops and enticing townspeople hold her spellbound. Assured crime never happens in the safest place along the New England coast. She delves into her new career. Brenda learns that not all is as it seems in Sweet Fern Harbor. A despicable woman named Lady Pendleton not only owns most of the town, but also makes it her mission to continue vendettas against everyone by regularly raising rents on businesses and homes. She is known to have ruined people financially more than once." And then it goes on from there. So that sounds like it's going to be really good. And she apparently has already had a little amateur sleuth career somewhere before she came to the town. So we'll see what happens. The next one is called The Beekeeper of New York. And yes, this is a very long list of TBR, a long TBR list for April. I don't know if I'll get to them all, but, we'll see how it goes. So The Beekeeper of New York, and it is by, it's very faint. I think it's Summer, Luoman, Lauman. So you can see on the picture on the screen, but I'm not sure exactly if I got that right or not, because like I said, it's very faint. So it says, Yusra has spent a lifetime protecting her autistic brother, but when he falls gravely ill, she discovers how little she really knows about his life. Not only must she come to terms with his secret world, but she must use what she learns to help save his life. It says, Yusra's earliest memory is from the vibrant marketplace in Al-Hidayah, when her autistic brother, Samir, is savagely beaten by a crowd who believes he's possessed by demons. Since that moment, she has protected him and rejected gods and monsters and all of the invisible forces that make people do cruel and unthinking things. But now Samir is lying unconscious in a New York hospital bed, and Yusra is discovering his secret invisible world that she has never imagined possible. So, anyway, we'll see where that goes. That sounds intriguing, I'm interested to see what kind of secret life he would have and what exactly, went on to even get him in the hospital bed. And then one last one that I'm doing, it's a... I was trying to think of the right name. It's a read-along. It's a Yeah, we're going to call it a read-along. I'm not sure if that's what she calls it, but it's by the Bookish Knitter, and it's the Amish read-along. So basically, you're tasked to read Amish books for April. Maybe it's just Amish April. Amish April read-along. We'll call it that. And so if I get it wrong, I'm sorry, Sarah. But it's through the Bookish Knitter, and it's all the different types of Amish or Amish-adjacent books that you can read during April. And so I don't know how many I'll read because, as you can see, I've already got a pretty long TBR for April. But at the very least, I wanted to read one of them. So the one I chose is called Thick as Thieves, and it's the first in the Amish Lantern Mysteries. And it says, robberies are running rampant in Little Valley, and the quiet small-town lives of the Amish community are suddenly thrown into chaos. Trusting that the local sheriff and deputy team have everything under control, things get even worse when the sheriff is found dead, and their beloved shop owner stands accused of murder. Amish twin sisters, well known as the wise women in their community, step up to do their own investigation, along with a brash big city detective. Whether he likes it or not, the women are determined to help solve the complicated crimes of theft and murder and clear their family names. So that sounds really good, and I didn't know there was such a thing. Maybe I should have known, but I didn't really know there was such a thing as Amish cozy mysteries. So I don't know. We'll see. I have all of these books that I chose I already own them all. They're all on my Kindle, or I don't think for most of them I have a physical copy, but certainly on my Kindle, including the Amish one. So it's like I do have other Amish books that I haven't got around to reading. So who knows? Maybe I've discovered a whole new genre that I'm interested in and didn't know I was interested in. So we'll see how that goes. So otherwise, it looks like it's, going to be a wintry day here in spite of the fact that it's spring. So I'm going to do a few things around the house, and, I've got a couple of online appointments, and we'll just see what happens during the day and how it goes. So I hope and I just realized what you could see behind me is my paint samples. So the wall behind the bookcase, we're planning to get painted. And so I've got all these different samples. It was a much bigger wall of samples for a while, but I've been weeding them out and trying to see what I think is going to look good on that wall. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, if you're wondering why the paint samples are behind me, that's what's happening there. So anyway, have a great day, everyone. I hope wherever you are, I hope it's a little more spring-like than it is here in Nova Scotia. So we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.